solving a serious crime, or by individual initiative apprehending a criminal in the act of committing a crime. The Chief's Special Recognition. The Chief of Police may present special awards to members or citizens based on exceptional service or contributions. And the last one is the Officer of the Year Award. The Officer of the Year is awarded by the police chief to a police officer of any rank who has shown a consistent and exemplary high level of work in support of the department's mission and value statement, including support of the police community partnership. We also have a fitness award, and that is the first award that's going to be given tonight. Will Officer Stan Sampson please step forward? I present Officer Stanley Sampson with the award for Most Physically Fit Officer. Is he here yet? He's not coming? He is coming? He might be in the back. Sergeant Ryan Glue, have you arrived yet? Is he back there? No? Okay, sorry about that. We'll get to him later. Sergeant Tracy Williams, will you please step forward? This next award is the Officer of the Year Award for 2011. Each week, the Evanston Police Department has a deployment meeting to identify hotspots within the city of Evanston. Resources are then deployed to those areas to make the quality of life better for the citizens and businesses. Sergeant Williams, on a consistent basis, focuses his efforts on those ever-changing deployment areas. He shows results by not only making arrests, but also spending time talking with citizens and business owners in the area. There were several incidents that earned Sergeant Williams this award. I'll describe a few of them for you. Sergeant Williams responded to a robbery of a juvenile in Mason Park. He drove the victim through the area attempting to find the offender and spotted a group of subjects. The victim was able to identify the offender, who was subsequently arrested and charged with robbery. Sergeant Williams was working a special detail when he observed a burglary in progress. He quickly gave out a description, but the offenders fled. They were later apprehended and charged accordingly. On another occasion, Sergeant Williams and his partner observed an adult male talking to some children in a park. They investigated and learned that the subject was a registered child sex offender. The offender was charged with a Class 4 felony and is currently serving time in the Illinois Department of Corrections. Several times, Sergeant Williams was working in deployment areas, observed illegal activity, and made some significant arrests, recovered weapons, and as a result, made the city safer for its citizens. The common theme in the selection of Sergeant Williams for the Officer of the Year Award is his self-initiation, his extraordinary work ethic, and his dedicated service to the community and to the Evanston Police Department. Thank you, Sergeant Williams. Congratulations, Tracy. Good job. I'd like to present Deputy Chief Jamrat.
Good evening. Would Lisa Schaefer please come forward? No, Lisa Schaefer. Would Detective Joseph Bush please come forward? On September 1st, 2011, a victim was walking down a sidewalk and without provocation was struck in the face by an unknown offender. The victim fell to the ground unconscious, where the suspect went through his pockets and fled on foot. The victim never regained consciousness and subsequently died from the injuries he received. Through proactive police work, you were able to develop information on the identification of the offenders. Once identified and brought into the station, you interviewed the offender, who subsequently confessed to his involvement in the incident. The offender was charged with first-degree murder and aggravated robbery. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. Detective, would you please stay? Would Detectives Mike Andre and Detective Gil Levy please come forward? Due to a rash of residential burglaries, a joint burglary mission was being conducted by the neighborhood enforcement team and additional plainclothes officers from the patrol operations. On January 11, 2011, officers responded to 839 Hartree, where a burglary was discovered. A description of the three offenders was broadcast, and you spotted them a short time later. A witness observed the individuals enter a residence in the 2200 block of Madison. You and fellow officers gained entrance to that residence, announced their presence, and informed the suspects to surrender. Due to the quick actions of responding officers, proceeds from that burglary were collected, and with your skillful interrogation, a total of 4 residential burglaries were cleared. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. And Detective Andre, would you please stay? Officer William Teasley, will you please come forward? On March 1st, 2011, you were on patrol in the area of Fowler and Greenleaf, where you observed the vehicle commit a traffic violation. As the vehicle was pulling toward the curb, you noticed the driver toss an object out of the window. During your initial contact with the driver, you discovered he was in possession of cannabis. Returning to the area where the driver tossed the item, a Sig Sauer .22 caliber handgun was recovered. The driver was charged with aggravated use, unlawful use of a weapon, and possession of cannabis. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. Would Christopher Seebacher and Officer Christopher Tamarino please come forward? On April 29th, 2011, Evanston police responded to a report of shots fired in the area of 1214 Darrow. Witnesses gave a description of a Buick sedan that had fled the area prior to officers arriving. On May 8th, 2011, you recalled a description of the vehicle that fled on the April 29th and observed it in the drive-thru of McDonald's restaurant at 1919 Dempster. You waited as the Buick exited the parking lot and detained the vehicle and occupants for investigation. Your skillful interrogation of the occupants led to the admission of possessing and firing of the handgun from the April 29th incident. The offender was then charged with aggravated use of a weapon. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. Officer Seebacher, if you would stay. On December 24th, 2011, you attempted to conduct a street stop on 2 known subjects along Howard Street. As you exited your vehicle, one of the subjects immediately fled on foot. You gave chase, and while maintaining visual contact of the offender, you witnessed and discarded a loaded handgun under a trash dumpster. Once the offender was in custody, you were able to locate that discarded handgun. The juvenile offender was charged for possessing a firearm. Your efforts have been effective in reducing violent crime with recovery of an illegally possessed firearm. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. Will Detective Matt George please come forward? On May 10th, 2011, you responded to a disturbance call at Butler Park. A resident of Evanston and his family had been threatened by several subjects with a gun. Upon your arrival, one subject fled from the park as he appeared to be holding an unknown object in his waistband. You gave chase and ordered him on several occasions to stop. The subject obeyed your orders, and a fully loaded .40 caliber semi-automatic pistol was recovered. The subject was charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. Would you please stay, Detective George? Thank you. Detective Kyle Benoit, please come forward. As members of the Evanston Police Tactical Unit, you collectively investigated several auto burglaries in the 1100 block of Lincoln. On September 19, 2011, one of the burglary victims had a phone stolen that was equipped with a tracking system. Using that tracking system, you followed the trail of the burglary offender to his current location. You made contact with the offender and found in his possession numerous items from the auto burglaries. You conducted a very thorough investigation into several additional auto burglaries, and through proficient interview and interrogation skills of the suspects, this investigation resulted in several vehicle burglary clearances and numerous criminal felony charges against 2 known burglary offenders. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. Officer Corey McRae, would you please step forward? On May 26, 2011, you responded to 728 and a half Hinman to check the well-being of an occupant. A female had sent a text message to her doctor that she was going to harm herself. After gaining entry, you located the victim in her bedroom, unconscious and bleeding from the neck wound. You immediately called for an ambulance and then began to apply direct pressure to the victim's wounds. Your quick actions prevented this person from a loss of blood, subsequently saving her life. With this, we present you with an honorable mention. Congratulations. Officer McRae, please stay. We have another award. On September 17, 2010, you responded to 2146 Sherman Avenue to process the scene of a residential burglary. During that processing, you discovered a cigarette butt that was left in the victim's bedroom and learned the victim did not smoke. The cigarette butt was packaged and submitted to lab for further analysis. This investigation did not immediately produce a suspect. On September 6, 2011, the Illinois State Police Crime Lab reported that the DNA from the cigarette butt was identified to a known burglar, and this burglar was located by investigators and charged with residential burglary. Without your attention and detailed due diligence, this case would have gone unsolved. We present you with this honorable mention. Would Officer Richard Tyson please come forward? He's not present. Thank you. Would Officer Mark Buell please step forward? On October 3rd, 2011, police responded to a robbery that had just occurred at the corner of Case Place and Ridge Avenue. A female victim had just had her purse forcibly taken, and the offender fled the area on foot. Approximately 1 block from the location of the robbery, you located a suspect in the rear of an apartment building matching that description. When you confronted the offender, he threw the purse out an open stair window. While alone in a stairwell, you attempted to take the subject into custody. The offender began to fight, and both of you fell through a glass screen door. With injury caused to both you and the offender, you were able to take him into custody, and the offender was positively identified by the victim. Due to your quick actions, the offender was arrested and charged with robbery. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. I'm sorry? Yes, ma'am? Thank you. Officer Rich Tyson, would you please step forward? During the month of October 2011, several viaducts in North Evanston were being spray painted with graffiti. On November 7, 2011, members of the Tactical Unit and 1st Detail Patrol Shift began to step up surveillance. You observed the offender damaging a viaduct with spray paint, who soon fled the area. A perimeter was established, and you conducted a yard-to-yard search of the offender. The offender was apprehended nearby at his residence. Due to your quick actions, the offender was positively identified, arrested, and charged with criminal defacement of property. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. Would Officer David Cherry please come forward? Deputy Chief Kabansky.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. Would Detectives Matt George and Detective Ken Carter please come forward? On November 11th, 2011, you were patrolling the area of the 300 block of Howard Street when you observed an on-view shooting incident involving two armed individuals. The pair fled in the vehicle, and you followed and subsequently performed a traffic stop on the vehicle, taking both subjects into custody. Inside of the vehicle, you recovered two handguns that were used in the incident. Your situational awareness and composure under a very highly stressful situation allowed for the apprehension of two very dangerous individuals and recovery of two handguns. We present you with this commendation. Would Officer Brian Hicks please step forward? On August 11, 2011, you responded to 907 Sherman for a report of a disturbance. Upon arrival, you noticed two individuals. One was holding the other from behind while grasping a large knife. The victim was suffering from several large wounds. Drawing your weapon, you immediately gave concise orders to have the offender drop the knife. He refused to do so, yet you maintained control of the situation. When the opportunity presented, you deployed your non-lethal pepper spray towards the offender. This allowed the victim to escape without further injury. The offender, still brandishing a knife, was kept under control until additional backup units arrived. The offender was subsequently neutralized with a taser. Officer Hicks, your actions led to the arrest of a dangerous individual and unquestionably saved the life of the victim with limited risk to the offender. Officer Hicks, we present you with this commendation. Would Officer Mark Buell, Officer Kevin Jacobs, and telecommunicator Chris Foss please step forward? On August 17, 2011, the Evanston Police Department responded to a bank robbery. The suspect had a GPS monitoring device placed in with the money that he took. Telecommunicator Voss provided the initial link between the officers on the street and the victims inside the bank. He also obtained a pertinent physical description of the subject. In addition, telecommunicator Voss provided verbatim location information of the tracker to where the officers were able to rely upon. Officers Buell and Jacobs, after obtaining the information, were able to track the offender over 25 miles through the city of Chicago, where he was subsequently apprehended on the south side. Your quick actions in coordination with assisting units allowed for the capture of the offender and recovery of all proceeds. The apprehension of the suspect was a great show of teamwork. Officer Buell and Jacobs, we present you with this commendation. Telecommunicator Voss, we present you with an honorable mention. Officer Buell, would you remain, please? Please step forward, Sergeant Jason Cole, Detective Jeremy Neiman, Detective Kevin Hines, Sergeant Mark Dobrowski, Officer Lance Lopez. Back on July 29th of 2008, Detective Giese who's unable to attend tonight due to a family crisis. He was on foot patrol in the 1800 block of Brown Street. He approached a large group of 20 to 30 subjects, and two of them which were fighting. He shined his flashlight on the group and announced his office. One of the subjects fled on foot. This Detective Giese gave chase after the subject through the 1800 block of Brown. That subject turned around with a sawed-off shotgun and fired twice at Detective Giese, luckily missing him. Officer Buell and the other officers arrived and helped conduct this investigation, and over the next few weeks conducted numerous interviews and interrogations of witness and the suspect. This led to the apprehension of the offender, and their pertinence and persistence paid off, and the offender was charged and subsequently convicted of an attempt murder of a police officer. Gentlemen, we'd like to present you with the Chief's Special Award.
Ryan Glue back there? Sergeant Ryan Glue, could you step forward, please? Okay, something just happened. I think he wants to leave. He's trying to prove something here. Okay. Sergeant Glue, we present you with the award for the most improved physically. Thank you. Okay. Oh, that's funny. I'd like to thank all of the family members who came tonight. These awards are for your spouses, children, whoever you came for, and we appreciate your commitment to the police department through your loved one. And I'd like to conclude with a quote from President Ronald Reagan to the 1985 commencement address to the Naval Academy graduating class. Okay. Let me leave you with these thoughts. Your countrymen have faith in you and expect you to make decisions. The issues will not be black and white. Otherwise, there would be no decisions to make. Do not be afraid to admit and consider your doubts, but don't be paralyzed by them. Be brave, make your judgment, and then move forward with confidence, knowing that although there's never 100% certainty, you have honestly chosen what you believe to be the right course. Thank you, all of you.